Hi guys, Jim here. I'm back from the Beating Obesity channel, and wanted to pick up now with a new video. If you haven't seen my prior videos, I documented my weight loss journey. I think 5 videos, and if you haven't seen those, you might want to watch those first. That kind of sets the template for where we're going to go from here. I documented in detail how I lost over half my body weight, went from 352 pounds down to currently I'm at 173 and a half. I think it was about October of last fall, 2017, when I hit my weight loss goal. And at that point, I made a radical change in diet. And that's what I want to start documenting now. And you might say, you might ask, why did I make a radical change in my diet after being successful at weight loss and losing so much weight? I described in the prior videos, I went to a low carb diet, which included probably about 50% of the food I was eating was vegetables and salad, leafy greens, with some protein. And some fruit. Why did I make a radical change in my diet? Well, I'll explain that later, but what I did is I went to a diet commonly known as a carnivore diet, also known as a zero carb diet. What that really is, if you're not familiar with those terms, is a diet mainly about meat, and water. In fact, purists would say that's it. Eat meat when you're hungry, drink water when you're thirsty, and that's it. You don't need anything else. I'm not quite that extreme with it. I have been incorporating. My original goal was to stay away from plants, to get rid of plants. I wanted to test that out. I was going to do a 30-day trial. No plants, which basically means meat plus I also included a little bit of plain yogurt, eggs, and some cheese. That's basically it other than meat. I was going to try it for 30 days, and here I am now pretty much at the end of 4 months. And I'm not going to give, during this video, a lot of details about metrics or how I feel or weight loss or anything, but just other than just generically say it's been treating me well, I love it, and I'm going to continue. I'm calling it, I'm still doing, if you watch my other videos, you'll note that you'll remember that I eat once a day, and I still eat once a day. So 1 meal a day, OMAD, plus the meat diet. I'm going to coin the phrase that I'm calling it a Meatomadic Lifestyle. Meat plus OMAD, Meatomadic Lifestyle. So that's me right now, my Meatomadic Lifestyle. So to start off today, I'm going to, actually I'm cooking dinner right now, and a little later on I'm going to take some pictures of my dinner, and I'll show them to you, what a typical meal is for me now in this carnivore diet that I'm on. But while dinner's cooking, I just thought I'd explain a little bit. Why did I get into this? Well, during my weight loss journey, once I realized that, all the information, a lot of the information that we were told about weight loss and nutrition is all wrong, and we get bad advice, everywhere we look, from the government or from guidelines, from the food pyramid down to what most doctors and nutritionists will tell you, dietitians will tell you. I had a thirst for knowledge, and I became very interested to find out more about what's going on, why more people weren't talking about what I did. what the methods I used. So I started searching online, in social media. It started out, I was doing a lot of searching on fasting. And fasting led me into low carb. In that sphere, a lot of different voices, a lot of different topics. So I was exploring, reading books. I guess I'll just mention a few of them, which were really left an impact on me and kind of led me to where I am now. The Big Fat Surprise by Nina Teicholz. That book, I would recommend it to anybody. It was quite illuminating. It was a very good book. It explains a lot of why we're in the predicament we are. I've also read books by Gary Taubes. And in the low carb world, I started to find there's a lot of like low carb conferences that are held around the country, around the world really. And at these conferences, different presentations are given on different topics. And I was absorbing as many of those as I could. And it just opened up a lot of, I was kind of an overload mode really. I was just, literally, I kind of used to be a big TV watcher, but I became just obsessed with these videos and learning. And in particular, a couple of different videos, a couple of different presentations really struck a chord with me and kind of changed my whole path. And I'll just mention them by name right now. There was I think it's called a Keto Fest presentation put on by Amber O'Hearn, who goes by the name Keto Carnivore on Twitter. I think that was from last year, maybe last summer, and it was quite illuminating. It was, and it got me thinking about things. Amber's presentation was called the Carnivorous Human, and it was very well done. She's a very thoughtful, intelligent person who's a carnivore, and to hear her tell her story, why she got into carnivory, and from there, she talks about why all humans are essentially okay with carnivory, and why we're kind of, it's in our bodies, it's in our history. You know, we've evolved for it, so it's perfectly natural, unlike some other animals. And then going into talking about plants. For the first time I heard people talking about plants that they're not really necessary, and in fact could be harmful. And this kind of blew me away, because what are we told about plants? Oh, they're wonderful, you know, they should be, you know, they're here for the greater good. It's like, no, nothing better you can do than to eat plants, grains and fruit, and just, you know, the pinnacle of food. Once you kind of look under the hood at those kind of claims, there's not a lot there. In fact, quite the opposite. They're harmful, and they're not really that good for us. And people in the carnivorous world that have gotten rid of them have done quite well. In fact, thrived and do better. So, including healing themselves and curing and illnesses and improving all aspects of their health. And this got me thinking. There's something I wanted to look into. There's another presentation, or several presentations by another doctor. Her name is Dr. Georgia Ede. I believe that's how you say her name, Ede. And she has another very thoughtful person, very intelligent, comes from a field, I think, in psychology, actually. But her perspective, I saw a video on hers, was I think it was called Little Shop of Horrors, and it was about about plants, and it just raised questions in my mind that I've never heard anywhere else about. Well, again, plants, are they necessary? Are they harmful? And there's all kinds of toxins found in plants that I wasn't really aware of. So I wanted to explore this path, and I immediately started. By the way, I'm going to link also to some of Dr. Reed's presentations below. And just, I want to say right now that there are many, many other good resources I found. I'm not going to list them all right now, but maybe in the future I will. But what I started doing at this point is saying, you know, my mind is open now. After having gone through my weight loss journey and finding that the power of diet, what it could do, I was actually feeling quite well. I was, now quite healthy and feeling good. So my mind being open, I was willing to explore, let's say, areas that I would consider maybe untouchable. You know, the primacy of plants being the be all end all. You know, and again, I've been for the past over a year been putting vegetables right at the centerpiece of my diet. So this was a little bit radical. So after looking into it a little further and exploring some more on carnivorous lifestyle, I decided to give it a 30-day trial. And I didn't know if I could do 30 days. And my thoughts at the time were, it seems like it's going to be boring. Just eating meat. Who's going to be able to live like that? And I was thinking, well, there's not a lot of variety. And just eating meat. I don't know. I had a lot of questions about it, but like I said, I had an open mind and I went into it. So 30 days, what the heck? So I went into it, and it took some adjustment. I'd say there was definitely 2-3 weeks where I was kind of trying to figure out, how much to eat and what to eat, just meat and how to prepare it. And I was kind of scrambling after having such a fixed regimen for my weight loss period. Now I was opening up a whole other can of worms. But, well, I didn't eat worms, but in any case, this was an experience. I went through the 30 days, and actually, it wasn't bad. I got to like it, and I started feeling pretty good. In fact, I think I was feeling better than my plant-based diet. So at that point, I said, I'm going to continue with this. And I've continued on now another 3 months after the original month. So I'm 4 months into it. And I'm not going to give a lot of specifics right now. I'll do it later. I'll document exactly. But what I've seen in general, mood improved, energy improved. As you know, I do a lot of running and exercise, and while my running improved, I noticed when I first changed over to the meat-only diet, I found new reserves in terms of being able to run distance and speed. It was like I had new energy reserves that I was suddenly able to find. What else? I have continued to lose a little weight, not much. I mean, I'm not really focused on weight loss. I think I've lost maybe over the 4 months, maybe 8 pounds, 10 pounds even. Just kind of a slow process, but that's fine. There has been some other changes in terms of when I first switched from my plant-based diet, which had a lot of vegetables and fruit, as I said, to protein, meat. It was like my body was really starved for protein. And looking back, I think maybe I was in a protein deficit because I was eating in the early days of my carnivorous diet. I was putting away big platters of meat, and I was eating again until I was full. But I was putting a lot of, I wasn't measuring it, but it had to be, 3 pounds of meat Um, it was like I couldn't get enough. Then over a period of weeks, that began to taper off, and suddenly I wasn't eating as much meat anymore. I didn't have the same desire, and now it's kind of plateaued. I eat about the same amount every day, but in the beginning, I couldn't get enough, and I think it was because of my plant-based diet plus the fasting, everything I was doing in weight loss mode. I think my body was starved for protein and needed protein. And once I delivered that protein, it was like, yes, more. Keep it coming. And like I said, I noticed an immediate impact on my running. I also noticed eating all the protein that I am now. Any kind of exercise or resistance training that I do, it seems like there's an immediate impact. I notice that I'm building muscle right away. I mean, right away. I'm not a huge amount, but it's noticeable. So my body is enjoying this divorce that I had from plants. So not only the physical, but it's just again a simplification of the lifestyle. The Meatomadic, eating only meat and once a day. I mean, this is easy. I mean, this is simple. It's uncomplicated. It saves a lot of time, and I'm enjoying it. I think it saves me money too. I haven't, I'm not into it I didn't get into it to save money, but if you add it up, meat is more expensive, but in the end, I think it's saving me money. So those are just to touch on a few of the benefits. I'm at work. I'm performing really well. Problem solving, just the evenness of mood and temper. Just overall, it seems like quite comfortable, healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to continue on with it, and like I said, I'll give more details later. I've been tracking body fat and some other things. I'll give statistics and all that later, but just a general overview today. And going forward, I'll provide more details and have more topics on it and show more meals. I'll look at dinner is probably coming up now. It'll be ready. I'll take some photos and show off my current meal. And then that'll probably wrap it up for this episode. Okay, be back in a bit. Okay, it's Saturday evening, and I'm going to show you my dinner. First course, about a pound of ground beef, and I had I scrambled up 3 eggs and had it on top of the ground beef. Ground beef I usually have either in patties or just fried like this. It's kind of a staple, and I have usually a bit of it every night. So that's my first course. I have eggs most night, also 2-3 eggs. So this is always part of my diet. Beverages, mineral water typically, bottle or 2, and those are pork rinds. I'll always have those around. That's my basic only kind of snack I have on a carnivore diet, pork rinds. Not the flavored kind, just the unflavored, plain, just fried pork and salt. Next course was this little pork steak. This is a pork shoulder blade steak. It's thin, cooks up nice, a fatty cut of meat. I like them. They're kind of they're cheap and, like I said, fatty, and you salt them and they taste pretty good. I like them. So now the main course tonight was some pork short ribs, and you'll see here. I cooked these in a sous vide bath for 24 hours, and then finished them off with a torch to darken up the outside of them. They look pretty good. I'm not sure if I can get through all of those tonight, but no problem. I'll save the balance for tomorrow night, but if I can't. But we'll see how it goes. So, time to eat. Well, I'm back, feeling pretty good. Had my dinner, awesome dinner, and I always have a great feeling after dinner. This diet, it digests very easily and for several hours, and you get to eat a lot of good food. So I'm filled, and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get to those ribs. Well, let me show you. Take a look. Oh, no leftovers for tomorrow. Anyhow, yeah, this meal was maybe just a slightly bit larger than a normal meal with all the ribs, but doesn't matter. I'm getting up early in the morning. I'm going to do a 10-mile run, so I could use a little bit extra in the tank. So not too worried about it. So that's a Meatomadic meal for today for me. One meal. You saw it. It was just mineral water, a few pork rinds, and 3 different kinds of meat. Oh, and some eggs. I had some scrambled eggs. But I am not going to be hungry in the morning. I'm not going to be hungry after I get done with a 10-mile run. I'll just have a little water. I'll have a couple coffees. I have a coffee in the morning, then another one at noon. And then I'll have another meal tomorrow night. That's the thing. Why I don't feel compelled to stop with this one meal a day is it's not a struggle to get through each day. I'm not like barely hanging on, oh boy, when is my meal gonna be here? Is it 5 o'clock yet? I just gotta have something. I need a snack. It doesn't happen. I eat sustaining food, eggs and meat, and I have a coffee. I enjoy coffee. Now, coffee is, I guess, one exception. That's a plant-based food, so it is kind of one variant from a true classical meat diet, if you will. And so the purists might look down on that, but how I feel and what I read from others, it doesn't seem to impact me, and I'm allowing the one exception to the plant-based diet because I really love coffee. I'm drinking it mostly black now. I have one black coffee and one coffee with a little bit of cream, and that's my day. That's the one exception. I might even try down the road. I'm thinking I'll try maybe do a test for 30 days, maybe go with no coffee, just see if there's any improvement or if I miss my coffee or what. Seems like every time I test something, I find out something new about myself. So I might test that someday, but not really in any rush because I love coffee. So anyway, that's a peek at my lifestyle now, the Meatomadic zero carb life that I'm leading. I'll have some more details and pictures of meals and things down the road, and give some specifics about weight I've lost, and I've lost inches, and body fat percentages, things like that I track that have also been interesting, and I'll share that at another time. For now, that's about it. Got a lot of dishes to clean up, and so I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the good comments and positive comments that I get, and to all subscribers that are viewing out there. Have a good night. See you next time.